Hello, gamers. This is going to be a little bit different because this just came off at the top of my head. But I figured, why not? I might as well just start recording some of these things without my co-host. He'll be a little bit interested in what I have to say here. But I am going to critique Watch Dogs 2 after thinking about it for a minute, and I figured, I might as well just share my thoughts on how the non-lethal play style in Watch Dogs 2 fundamentally ruins how the game plays, and it takes away from the loadout and diversity of playing the game. And what I mean by that is whenever you go into Watch Dogs 2, they obviously change how the game works in terms of gameplay for the betterment in terms of stealth and being a trickster like player, because they managed to give you one of the most broken guns in the game called the 2 Easy Guns, a taser. And that did help stealth in a big way, because in the last game, Watch Dogs, your only non-lethal option was your trusty baton, and a baton can only go so far when you're in a firefight against 7 armed dudes with AKs and 45s. So the taser was meant as the solution for non-lethal ranged combat. But there's a problem with it. And the problem being is that it's so overpowered, it overshadows any other weapon you may want to use. Because why would you want to use any other weapon that may take several shots to kill somebody, and that can be loud, may not be that accurate, the whole 9 yards, when you just have yourself a taser that, yes, does have limited range and one-shot capabilities, but is relatively silent and can take the enemy out in one shot anywhere on the body, especially considering in Watch Dogs 2 they took away focus. Albeit a cheaty and overused ability in the first game, but it helped make those well-placed headshots that much more easier to use. But I'm getting ahead of myself, or rather I'm not. Sorry, I'm new to this, but I just figured I'd record it. Because of that, I just feel that it takes away from some of those people that may want to use lethal means to complete a mission. And it goes a lot farther than that as well. The whole trickster, non-lethal approach bleeds over into the personality of Marcus Holloway, the main protagonist. And it all goes about how Ubisoft or the developers decided to steer away from the gritty, more dark aspects of Watch Dogs and try to make it more lighthearted, because everybody had a complaint about how depressing and dark Aiden Pierce was in the overall story. So they decided to make it all chipper and happy, and it just does not fucking work well, at least in my opinion. Fuck it. It's an overall overview of Watch Dogs 2 as a whole, besides the non-lethal aspect. But that's where one of the big problems come in. Because of the simple fact that, the whole story as a whole is more happy-go-lucky and for the lulz, that it just takes away the more seriousness aspect of just wanting to put a fucking bullet into somebody's head. You're walking down the street, you see a bunch of gang members, you just want to fucking put a bullet in them. You want to do your vigilantism justice. But you don't really feel compelled to do that because of the fact that, in terms of the personality of Marcus and how he's more of a happy-go-lucky type of guy, in my opinion, you're more inclined to use devious moves with the RC car and the quadcopter to try and complete that objective in a more silent, sneaky way. And yeah, it just doesn't make you want to use lethal means, because that's how Marcus's personality goes. In cutscenes, he's all happy, optimistic, he jokes around a lot. It kind of feels odd when 30 seconds prior you're in a shootout with a bunch of cops and you kill 15 officers with a grenade launcher. There's a disconnect between the player's emotion and how they want to play the game and how Marcus portrays it. Unlike Aiden Pierce in the previous game, his personality was well hidden, and because it was well hidden, it was ambiguous. God, I think I fucked that up a little bit. As a result, yeah, you could play it how you want, and it goes along with the fact there was that reputation system, either marking you as a menace to the city or the vigilante that obviously some people don't like, but deep down they're like, man, this guy's cleaning up the city. We should let him do what he's trying to do. Yeah, you may kill a shit ton of gang members, but thankfully that shit doesn't impact your reputation. But in Watch Dogs 2, because of how powerful the non-lethal weapons are, you're more encouraged to use the non-lethal variants, whether it be the 2 Easy Gun, or God forbid the pay-to-win air rifle, the stun rifle, that's basically a sniper rifle equivalent, or the electric grenades. And it's because of all that, there's really no reason to use the lethal option. Take too many rounds, they may be underpowered, and yeah, it just doesn't fit Marcus's personality. Now, take a different game, Metal Gear Solid. That game handled the non-lethal option well because both sides of the coin offer their own rewards and disadvantages. When you look at Metal Gear Solid, they give you the semi-decent tranquilizer pistol. A gun that can be silenced, can knock enemies out in one shot, so you can easily conserve ammo, and you don't have to worry about aiming that well, just shoot them anywhere. But of course, depending on where you shoot them, it could be an instant knockout, headshots, or if you shoot them in the arms and legs or the torso, it may be a lot easier, but you gotta wait a few more seconds. And then you just go to the lethal part, well, boom, headshot, they're dead. You don't have to worry about them for several minutes or however many areas you transition to. It's a good way to take them out, but of course there's pros and cons. Take them out non-lethally, a guard may stumble upon the body, just kick them, wake them up, and then, what happened? You were sleeping, Jim, get off your fat ass! And that's it. Maybe an alarm will sound, maybe it won't. You never know. It depends on how you take them out. If you use a tranquilizer pistol, yeah, nothing will happen. If you decide to beat their ass, yeah, there'll be a caution mode. And then if you decide to put a 45 in their skull, well, yeah, caution for about a minute and 30 seconds, be on your toes. But it goes a lot farther, not depending on what game you play. Let's say you look at Metal Gear Solid 3, there was a real reason to use non-lethal means, primarily, spoiler, later on in Metal Gear Solid 3, you gotta go up against one of the Cobra units, the Sorrow, and his gimmick was that in your near-death state, you're in a dreamlike sequence where you recount all the people you killed, and the less people you kill, guess what? The quicker the segment is, and you get a decent camouflage if you get to the end, but that doesn't, well, no, it's actually quite powerful, but who cares? Anyway, and if you decide to kill people, yeah, you won't have to worry about them waking up, and, you know, it's a easier way just to plug them a few bullets and that's it. It's slightly quicker, but then you gotta worry about that whole segment being a lot longer. And now we go into Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5. Well, Metal Gear Solid 4, you get a cash bonus if you decide not to kill people. If you do kill people, there's more of a markup in price for the guns, but then you get more money from scavenging said guns. But of course, if you decide to be non-lethal, you get the most broken item in the game, which is the Infinity Bandana. And if Metal Gear Solid 5, well, yeah, don't kill anybody. You need those slaves for your base, needless to say. But, again, basically, there are some other games that do a good job in terms of balancing the risk and reward between being lethal and killing people or being non-lethal and sparing them. But with Watch Dogs 2, with how extreme those non-lethal weapons are, and again, because of Marcus's personality implying that he doesn't really kill people that much, it just overall encourages you to use a non-lethal weapon, the 2 Easy Gun or your Thunderball, and I feel that kind of ruins the story in more ways than one, because then it doesn't give you freedom of choice as to how you want to build your character. Well, not build your character, but make it ambiguous. That was a strong suit with Watch Dogs 1. That's why I kind of like Aiden Pierce, because, yeah, he may sound depressing and grim, but that's what his character is supposed to be. He's not trying to wear his emotion on his chest. He's supposed to be cold-blooded. He has his own job to do, which is to clean up the city and figure out who killed his niece. But, yeah, Watch Dogs 2. Oh, God. I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just with that small choice of reworking the story to be more happy-go-lucky and positive in some ways, encouraging the stealthy, non-lethal route, it just took away some of the impact from the more lethal options, and yeah, just makes you want to be a goody-goody two-shoes and just knock a sucker's lights out. But that's all I'm going to say for now. Who knows, maybe if we learn how to splice stuff together, we can add on to this. But beyond that, yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts about non-lethal tactics in Watch Dogs 2 and how they've ruined the story in a way and the gameplay, even though it's still semi-good. Just that's my one gripe. And yeah, screw it. That's all I want to say. Talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.